because we've just crossed a threshold that is similar in its capacity to alter the world as the invention of writing. I really think that's where we are. We're talking about something that is going to fundamentally alter what humans are with no plan.
Something unprecedented is happening right now. While most of us are still figuring out ChatGPT, a new wave of AI is quietly preparing to reshape not just how we work, but whether we work at all. They're called AI agents, and unlike chatbots, these systems don't just respond. They act, decide, and execute independently. In a remarkably debate on Diary of a CEO, three brilliant minds dissected what may be the most significant technological shift since the internet. Amjad Masad, CEO of Replit, Brett Weinstein, evolutionary biologist and systems thinker, and Daniel Priestley, entrepreneur and business strategist, revealed a transformation that's moving faster than most realize, with consequences that go far beyond typical jobs will change predictions. Recent studies show 14% of workers have already experienced job displacement due to AI, while over 76,000 people lost jobs to AI automation this year alone. But here's what makes this different. 83 million jobs are expected to disappear in the next 5 years, while only 69 million new ones will emerge, a net loss of 14 million positions globally. When Masad was asked which jobs AI would replace first, his answer was brutally clear: text in, text out jobs.
Maybe this is useful for the audience. I think if your job is as routine as it comes, your job is gone in the next couple of years. So meaning if in those jobs, for example, quality assurance jobs, data entry jobs, you're sitting in front of a computer and you're supposed to click and type things in a certain order. Operator and those technologies are coming on the market really quickly, and those are going to displace a lot of labor. Accountants,
Lawyers.
yes.
I mean, I've just pulled a ligament in my foot, and they did an MRI scan, and I had to wait a couple of days for someone to look at the MRI scan and tell me what it meant.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's gone.
Yeah, I think the healthcare ecosystem is hard to predict because of regulation. And again, there's so many limiting factors on how this technology can permeate the economy because of regulations and people's willingness to take it. But things, unregulated jobs that are purely text in, text out. If your job, you get a message and you produce some kind of artifact that's like probably text or images, that job is at risk.
These aren't random positions. They're the entry-level jobs that traditionally serve as career stepping stones. The speed is staggering. 25% of startups in Y Combinator's latest cohort have 95% AI-generated code bases. What used to require entire engineering teams can now be accomplished by a single entrepreneur with the right AI tools. What makes this wave fundamentally different is the emergence of truly autonomous systems. IBM projects that 2025's agents will be fully autonomous programs completing projects with no human help, while 25% of companies will launch AI agent pilots this year. The AI agents market is exploding, with 44.8% annual growth projected through 2030. This isn't just another tech trend, it's a fundamental shift in how work gets done.
Right. So that will create a world. Yes, there's massive access to opportunity, but there are people who will
seize it, and then
seize it.
And
Yes.
then there'll be people who don't. I imagine it almost like a marathon race. And AI has two superpowers. One superpower is to distract people, such as TikTok algorithm.
That's right.
And the other superpower is to make you hyper creative. So you become a hyper consumer or a hyper creator. And in this marathon race, the vast majority of people have got their shoes tied together because AI is distracting them. Some people are running traditional race. Some people have got a bicycle, and some people have got a Formula One vehicle. And it's going to be very confronting when the results go on the scoreboard and you see, oh, wait a second, there's a few people who finished this marathon in about 30 minutes, and there's a lot of us who finished in like 18 hours because we had our shoes tied together. And I can't understand, if we've got equal opportunity, why there's so much disparity between how fast it, and I'm using an analogy, but this idea that, someone, like a lot of people are going to start earning $1 million a month, And a lot of people are going to say, hey, I can't even get a job for $15 an hour. There's going to be this kind of interesting wedge.
But Brett Weinstein's evolutionary perspective reveals something tech optimists miss. When you introduce a new apex predator into an ecosystem, the effects cascade unpredictably and often catastrophically for existing species. Weinstein's concerns transcend simple job displacement. As a biologist studying complex systems, he sees potential evolutionary bottleneck for human relevance. The question isn't whether AI will create new jobs, Weinstein argued. It's whether humans will be capable of performing those jobs, or whether AI will simply be better at those too.
I mean, unfortunately, even if there is some small group of elites that are able to go to Hawaii while something else does the mundane details of their business building, we are rather soon going to be faced with a world that has billions of people who do not have the skills to leverage AI. Some of them will be necessary for a time. You're going to need plumbers, but this is also not a long-term solution because not only are there not enough of those jobs, but of course we have humanoid robots that once imbued with AI capacity will also be able to take, they'll be able to crawl under your house into the crawl space and fix your plumbing. So what typically happens when you have a massive economic contraction that arises from the fact that a huge number of people are out of work is that the elites start looking at those people and thinking, well, we don't really need them anyway. And so the idea that this AI disruption doesn't lead us to some very human catastrophe, I think, is overly optimistic, and that we need to start preparing right now. What are the rights of a person who has had whatever it is that they've invested in completely erased from the list of needs? Is that person responsible for not having anticipated AI coming? And is it their problem that they are now starving and they're being eyed by others as, a useless eater? I don't think so.
How is it different than when what's it called, the looming machine came and the textile workers, the resulted in the Luddite sort of revolution? How is it different than any time in history when technology automated a lot of people out of jobs?
I would say scale and speed. That's how it's different.
It
And the
also,
scale and speed is going to result in an unprecedented catastrophe because the rate at which people are going to be simultaneously sidelined, not just in one industry, but across every industry.
Current data validates this concern. MIT and Boston University research shows AI will replace 2 million manufacturing workers by 2025, while McKinsey projects 14% of global employees will need career changes by 2030. Unlike previous revolutions where displaced workers could retrain, this transformation may create jobs requiring capabilities most humans simply don't possess. When factories replaced artisans, humans still operated machinery. When computers replaced calculators, humans still inputted data. But when AI agents think, reason, create, and act independently, what unique value do humans provide? Before complete technological passivism sets in, current reality is more nuanced. Recent data from engineering hubs shows widespread unemployment hasn't materialized. Engineering jobs are changing more than disappearing. Many experts believe AI agents will perform parts of jobs without necessarily taking over entire roles, potentially enhancing rather than replacing human productivity. Daniel Priestley represents this measured view, excited about productivity gains while genuinely concerned about social implications. His perspective reflects what many leaders experience. AI is powerful and useful, but effective integration requires human judgment, creativity, and strategic thinking. Despite acknowledging AI's disruptive potential, Massad maintains we're still early in this transformation. For those willing to adapt quickly, this represents unprecedented opportunity to build a future rather than be shaped by it. Perhaps most unsettling was their discussion of synthetic realities. As AI becomes sophisticated, artificial experiences could become indistinguishable and more appealing than real ones. This isn't science fiction. We're seeing early versions with AI companions, virtual influencers, and sophisticated virtual environments. The panelists discussed a future resembling The Matrix or Ready Player One, where people retreat from physical reality because synthetic alternatives better satisfy human psychological needs.
We talked about the birthright crisis, and I think a more generalized problem there is creating virtualized environments via VR, where everyone is living in their own created universe. And it's so enticing and even simulates work and simulates struggle, such that you don't really need to leave this world. And so every one of us will be solipsistic, similar to the Matrix.
Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, we're all kind of even worse than Ready Player One, at least that's a massively networked environment. I'm talking about AI simulating everything for us, and therefore you're literally in the Matrix,
Maybe this is.
I was about to I had that same thought. I've enjoyed this great simulation.
If AI can create perfect virtual relationships and optimal entertainment experiences, what happens to our connection to reality? What happens to human society when digital alternatives are superior? This brings us to the central question. Are we heading towards societal collapse, major reset, or genuine renaissance? Weinstein's evolutionary perspective suggests potential collapse, rapid change outstripping our adaptation ability, leading to widespread disruption and human marginalization. Priestley sees potential for painful but beneficial reset, society reorganizing around new economic realities with emerging forms of value creation. Masad represents the Renaissance view, AI agents amplifying rather than replacing human capability, leading to explosive creativity and innovation. We're at a critical juncture. The question for businesses isn't whether to adopt autonomous agents, but how quickly they can integrate them. Those who hesitate risk obsolescence. But this extends beyond businesses, to society. We must decide whether to let this transformation happen to us or actively shape it for broad human benefit. Current trajectory suggests extreme inequality. A small group controlling AI systems captures most value, while everyone else struggles in an economy that no longer needs them. The most sobering insight: this isn't just another disruption we'll adapt to. World Economic Forum projections suggest 42% of work tasks could be automated by 2027. We may be witnessing artificial intelligence emergence that could surpass human intelligence across all domains. For the first time in history, we might be creating a system that doesn't necessarily need us. Not intentionally, but because economic incentives drive toward more capable, autonomous, and efficient AI systems. This doesn't mean stopping AI development. Competitive pressures ensure continued progress. But we need intentionality about integration and safeguards protecting human agency and dignity. The debate was just the beginning. Real work lies in navigating this transformation, requiring our best creativity, wisdom, and cooperation to ensure the agentic revolution serves rather than replace humanity. As we stand at this inflection point, change isn't coming, it's here. The question is whether we'll shape the future or be shaped by it. The choice, for now, remains ours.